Yellowstone National Park holds within its few hundred square miles over 12,000 different geothermal features. More than half of all of the geysers in the entire world can be found in this little corner of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. Along with geysers, one finds mud pots, hot springs, fumaroles, of which I was getting a good introduction here in episode 6 of the tour to Joko, Yellowstone edition. As interesting as these steamy, smoky holes in the ground were, I was looking for perhaps the most difficult to spot, the most subtle, but yet the biggest volcanic feature in all of Yellowstone, the caldera. I know that this ridge that I'm driving on, which I don't know if that includes this or not, or if it's the ridge that's over there, is part of the Yellowstone caldera, the most recent caldera from the explosion 350,000 years ago, or 400,000 years ago. This is a tough cliff. Well, not T-O-U-G-H, tough, but tough as in T-U-F-F. Now, I've learned that tough is the material that is formed by ash after it has flowed from the volcano. It gets so hot that the ash melds together and the rocks squeeze together to form this stuff called tuff. And if we look closely, we can see a series of striations, whoops, which is actually kind of highlighted by the snow there, which indicates a series of different volcanic flows. It's not really snow, it's more like hail, but like little tiny pieces of hail. They look like little pieces of styrofoam. Well, here's my campsite, day 3. Got it early in the park itself. Fresh shirt, fresh socks, brushed my teeth. I almost feel like a human being again. I thought I'd ask one of our fine members of the National Park Service for some off-the-cuff advice on how to spot the caldera.
Okay. Cliff up above, but also a cliff below. And of course, caldera is basically a rim, right? I mean,
right.
Which is the caldera?
Well, let me show you on this map right here. It's that purple line.
Right.
But I mean, it can be really difficult to see now.
Having not really received the enlightening scientific information I was hoping for from the ranger, I mean, what does he mean by it's hard to see right now? Like I should come back in 300,000 years ago and look at it then? In any case, I decided to march around the first real attraction that I came across at Yellowstone, the Norris Geyser Basin. This all coming from the northern Porcelain Basin. This is like something that a Las Vegas casino would make, and here it is, quite natural. I think what I meant to say about this place was that the Norris Geyser Basin is something otherworldly. I mean, it's like no place else. With all the sulfuric smells and the smoke and steam rising out of the ground, and the holes and the fumaroles and the funky colors in the water. I mean, it's like you're on another planet. Except for the occasional middle school tour group. Although when it came to answering questions about the caldera, well, let's just say this friendly ranger guy was no Hank Heisler. I thought I'd give him another chance to answer a question I had about the interplay between the wildlife here and the geothermal features.
So I saw a documentary where the toxicity of just living there full time is not something they're meant to handle. Does that happen here, or is that someplace else?
It's not usually a situation with grasses or vegetation, as much as something called an inversion. We have a very cold air, and it presses down and condenses those gases. So here's the bison. They're cold. They go over by the thermal feature and they lay down beside it because it's so hot, so comfortable to them.
Right, yeah.
They're like us. They have arthritis and rheumatism, things like that. They lay down there, it feels really good to them. There's some grasses that come up. So now you have an inversion, 40 below zero. forces all of those toxic gases that are normally dispersed over a wide area.
Right.
There's no problem. Now they're concentrated right down low where they're laying down, right where nose level. And if it gets too bad, it's very rare, but the right circumstance can happen, and it kills wildlife like bison and elk or animals that have, collected around those areas.
And that can happen right here in this basin.
It actually has happened
okay.
near here, but it's not very common.
I see.
Very, very rare.